All right, fans, I'm here with Victor. Victor, how you feeling tonight?
I'm feeling pretty good, feeling confident that we're going to get the W today.
Yeah, man, I'm really excited about tonight. Our home opener, really good stuff. The turnout's really good. Did you get to catch the Mavericks game?
Yes, I went to a watch party at the new Plaza practice facility. It was good. It was good. Left a little bit of crying in me, but it looked pretty good. It looked pretty good.
Yeah. What did you like from the team from that game?
Um, I saw a little bit of better chemistry than last year. I saw CP3 doing his thing. Didn't really score much, but he just came as a facilitator like he's supposed to.
Mhm.
Um, him and Victor had a few connections, so I'm pretty glad that we got to saw that. So yeah.
Tell us about the watch party. How was it? I didn't get to make it this time.
It was good. It was a good turnout. It got busier as the time went on. I got there kind of early to get a good spot. They had food trucks. They had like tequila food truck too, like for the people that wanted to drink and stuff. They had raffles, giveaways, and stuff like that. So it was pretty good.
Yeah, you'd recommend fans to go check it out.
Yeah, it's gonna be actually they have like five more. They're all gonna be there at the same place, the
Love
practice
it, brother.
facility.
Yeah, hopefully we get to catch you there. Um, so what did the Spurs need to clean up after the first game?
Ooh, their efficiency, probably their hustle because they were getting out hustled big time. I think their rebounds were, I think they had like 20 offensive rebounds to our like 10 or something like that. 3 pointers, obviously up open 3 pointers. They got to make them. Victor had a rough night, so it was pretty bad. 3 pointer shooting and they're hustling. I think that's what they got to work on.
Yeah, man, I totally agree. Tonight Houston Rockets are going to pack the paint. They're going to make us shoot. Our
Yeah,
shooters need to be ready to shoot.
yeah.
Speaking of our shooters, Julian Champagny, have you like anything from him this season that you've seen?
He's looking real nice actually. He came out shooting better than I expected. Well, Vassell out, somebody has to step up. He's been stepping up, so I'm glad to see him shooting the way he's shooting. Even from the preseason, he was shooting real good. So.
Yeah, he's more confident.
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
so I expect him to excel off the bench is what I've been saying when Devin comes back.
yeah.
Speaking of Devin and his injury, before the injury,
If he goes to the bench, you never know.
hey, you never know.
You
You
never
are
know.
right. And yes, before the injury, did you expect Devin to have a most improved player type of season?
Well, I thought he got improved last year. I think he went from like 17 to like around 20. I'm hoping he starts off maybe like 22 when he comes back. I know he's gonna be a little rusty in the beginning, but I hope he starts 22, 23. Victor goes up to like 28, 29. So yeah, I hope he has a most improved season this year coming in.
Yeah, man. You're wearing a Jeremy Sohan jersey.
Mhm.
Me personally, I love Jeremy Sohan. I think he fits on this team. I think we have a place on this team. What about you?
Yes, I just hope he can work on his shot a little bit, make better decisions. But I think all that comes with experience. And now that he has a veteran, with two veterans and Harrison Barnes and Chris Paul, he should be able to get that. With Chris Paul directing him, hey, how to do this, how to do that.
Yeah.
Harrison Barnes showing him how to use his body more and doing all that good stuff. So yeah, I hope he gets it.
Yeah, I think Sohan can find his true role on this team, especially with us having a true point guard.
Yeah.
Obviously we're not going to see no Sohan point guard experiment. So now we're there. I expect major improvement for Sohan. What did you think of his activity though against the Mavs? I mean, he was everywhere.
Yeah, he was. He was. Just, I mean, you can only do so much against Luka. You know what I mean? You can only do
I
so
know.
much, and he was doing good. But where we stop one, there's Kyrie, and then there's Klay Thompson. So you never know where you're gonna get hit. So he can't be three people at once. So he has to stop one. But he did real good. I'm glad he was all around.
Yeah,
Once his shooting form comes in, he's gonna be a force to be reckoned with for sure.
I think so too. Speaking of our veterans, CP3 and Harrison Barnes, what do you expect from them this season for us?
I'm hoping Harrison drop. I'm hoping like leadership, obviously, but I know Harrison like last game against the Mavericks, he was red hot, actually shooting pretty good. Chris Paul, he has to get a little rhythm. I think he's more there to facilitate and play, like he said. I'm hoping for them to make our team better and everybody around them better, which they have been. It's like we're missing that one scoring little piece that from Devin Vassell. So hopefully when Devin Vassell comes back, we'll see the true form of the team.
Awesome, man. Record wise, how many wins do you expect this season?
I'm a good honest answer. I say about 42.
Okay.
I say I'm gonna go with an eighth. I'm pushing high 8, 7 seed. I feel like they can do it when Vassell gets back. Once they get the little rhythm.
Yeah.
Once they play like they did at the second half of the season last year, they should be good to go.
And can you tell us about Stephon Castle? Do you like his game? Anything that you dislike?
I like the dog in him. Yes, I know he has to work on his threes, but I really liked what I saw. He was putting it to Luka defense wise. Like I said, you can only do so much to stop him. but I like the way he was defending. I like his offensive game. His shooting is a little rough, but it'll get there with time. It's
Yeah.
like Victor last year. It was a little rough, but it's going to get there.
Yeah, I agree. I think everybody can learn shooting. They can improve in that if they work hard. But you can't teach the dog. You can't put a dog in somebody, and he's a dog for us.
Yeah.
So, speaking of Wimby, talk to me about these threes, man. What are you liking them? What do you want from him?
I think he was a little nervous in the first game. He was a little nervous. That's why he missed like 8, 9 of them, but he started making them a little bit, like 2 or 3 he made, but. He just needs to get settled down. Maybe, hopefully, after that first game, the nerves came out. Actually, he had like the same game last year against the Mavs last year, right? 14, 15 points last year. So, took him a game just to get settled. So, hopefully today he looks more comfortable, more settled.
Yeah,
so,
what would you like to see from him today? You want to see him in the paint this time?
I want him to dunk on Şengün and everybody that doubted him, that think that Şengün is better than him. I want him to show them that he's the true one. He's the real San Antonio King right now.
He is, man. He is. I believe in him. That's why I'm going to be the hardest on him, because I have all the faith in him in the world.
For sure.
One last question here. Who do you dislike the most? Are the Dallas Mavericks or the Houston Rockets?
I'm gonna go Dallas Mavericks. Honestly, I'm not a Luka fan, so I just it's like half and half. I guess, but more Dallas probably.
More Dallas, all right.
Because they already think they're the shit. Sorry, because they went to the finals, but we've been there many times already. So
we know who runs Texas.
Yeah, we do.
Right, and it's San Antonio Spurs, baby. Can I get a go Spurs go?
Go Spurs go, man.
Okay, Will. So you caught the Dallas Mavericks game. Do you have any notes? Like, what did you see from the team that game?
So I thought Wimby started off a little bit slow, but I definitely think he's gonna kick it off a little bit better today. And I thought Castle looked really good for his first game. I know he didn't get to play a whole lot, but I saw some good things from him.
Yeah, I saw great things from Stephon Castle. I'm really, really pleased with his play. There's during the summer and just so far to start the season. Trey Jones just got hurt, so we should see some more Castle minutes tonight. Do you have a favorite player on the team not named Wimby?
So I like Jeremy Shohan a lot. I think he's an exciting player. I love his defense.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, would you say that Jeremy Sohan has a place on this team?
For sure. I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I think we definitely need some more offense on the team right now. But I think Shohan's a valuable enough piece that we need to keep him around for defense, and I think he has a high upside.
I agree too, completely. Everything that you said, I agree with. He had a very high active game against the Mavericks, and I just expect that to increase. I mean, we need somebody to help also rebound and play defense. We can't just rely on Wimby to do all those things for us. So, Keldon Johnson, do you have any thoughts about Keldon Johnson?
So the last couple of years I've kind of been down on him, but I think I'm excited to see what he does this year, and I would not be completely against maybe using him in a move. I think if he has a good season, maybe he could be a little bit more valuable, but also I'm completely for him if he's going to. I could see him taking on a very big role on the bench. I could see him being a really good sixth man of the year type player, but I'd like to see some improvements from him this year, maybe being a little bit more consistent.
Yeah, I agree too. Yeah, I think he can. Hopefully he dropped that weight, so we'll see. Hopefully better defensive wise too. He should be able to keep up with, his players. Julian Champagnie starting for us in place of Devin Vassell. What are your thoughts on Julian?
So I didn't really get to see a whole lot of him last year, but from that first game, I'm excited for him. I think he can turn into a lot better three-point shooter, something that we need. I mean, he looked really good this last week, and I'd like to see him shoot a couple more threes this game and start knocking them down. Yeah,
he's been shooting more confidently to start the season and in the preseason, so I'm really excited about that. I personally think that he'll excel off the bench, once Devin comes back. Speaking of Devin, him being out, before the injury report, did you expect him to have a most improved player type of season?
I did. I thought there was all-star upside for him this year, playing along Wemby and Chris Paul, obviously. I think he's great. Every year I've seen great improvements from him. I'm excited to see him get back.
Awesome, man. And, who would you like to see in the starting lineup for, the long term of the season?
I think within the next 10 to 15 games, I'd love to see Castle get in there. And I think it's a realistic possibility, especially with his defense and confidence as he grows. And I know his shooting mechanics are a little bit of concern, but I think they'll get with him, and that won't be a problem for him much longer.
Yeah, like with the shooting, I mean, wouldn't you agree, like, anybody can improve shooting? I mean, we have people that just go to the gym just to play ball and improve. Like, I think that anybody can improve the shooting, so I'm not worried about it. What I like, though, is that he's shooting confidently and not passing up, like, jumpers, even though, like, that's his weakness. He's the type of player, I think, he's gonna gain like more experience the more games he's in. Like not necessarily in practice, but like in game is when he'll gain his experience. Do you see that from Castle as well?
I do. I mean, he's kind of got that winner's mentality. Like the way he drives the hoop and hangs there for a little bit before he puts it in. I mean, that's a lot of confidence for a rookie. And so I think, that confidence isn't something you can really teach. And so we can teach him how to shoot and everything. In-game experience, he's just going to get better and better. And I heard the commentators in the Mavericks game were saying he is Drew Holiday upside. And that'd be amazing alongside Wemby. That'd be a stud defense. Right?
I agree, man. Yeah, championship caliber type of point guard, right? I do believe Castle's our point guard of the future. I'm really excited about him. I might even get a jersey. Anything else you think that these fans should know about the team?
I mean, I'm pretty sure we got 1% odds to make the playoffs this year, and I totally see a world where we make that play in, get a few upsets, and get an 8th or 7th seed. I don't think that's out of the realm of possibilities.
I agree, man. I think we can definitely make the play in, and then depending on matchups, we might get a good matchup for us. Record-wise, would you go on the record to say we're going to be this year?
So I think, knowing Popovich, we're going to test out a lot of rotations and stuff. I don't think he's in a massive rush right now with the draft class coming up. I'm going to say we sit around 30 wins this year. Nice.
All right. And you'd be happy with that? You would say that's an improvement?
I would, because I won't be heartbroken if we get a good lottery pick or if we make the playoffs this year. I think both ways we're in a good situation for the future.
That's awesome. How much longer do you think until we're probably a championship contending team?
I'd say 2 years. I think 2 to 3 years. I think we'll get someone in free agency. We got a lot of money right now.
Yeah.
I think we'll get someone in with another smart draft choice in a couple years at Castle. I'd say 2 or 3 years. We'll be right there.
I like that. You heard it here, fans. And so we have a bunch of draft picks too, so we can always package those. I'm pretty sure we will. We're not going to use every single one. Fun question right here, and really important for San Antonio Spurs fans. Who do you dislike more, the Dallas Mavericks or the Houston Rockets?
I got to go with the Rockets. I've always been a Luka fan. Obviously not above any of my Spurs, but I'm not a fan of the Rockets.
All right, you heard it here. Before we go, Will, can I get a Go Spurs Go?
Go Spurs Go.
All right, Mike, how excited are you for tonight's game?
I'm very excited. Opening night against our rivals from Houston. I'm ready.
I'm ready, baby. Yeah. Did you get to catch the Mavericks game?
I caught the end of it. It wasn't the outcome that we wanted, but it's the beginning of a long season, so not too worried. Not too worried right now.
Nothing to panic about. Just game one, right?
Yeah, game one.
Just from maybe what you saw, and then maybe if you read any stats, what did you see from this team?
I feel like we're better than last year. I definitely feel like we're better than last year with a lot of the new additions from the vets. Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes. Definitely feel like, again, it's going to be a long season, but I feel like Vic individually, wasn't his best game. I know. I watched the conference at the end. He said it was just conditioning, so not too worried about that. Again, start of the season, shouldn't be too bad going into it.
Yeah, I agree. We'll see when he finds his rhythm. Obviously, we've seen that he plays better going into the fourth quarter and later in the games. I'm interested to see, how we work around that and everything.
I'm excited, dude. This is my first game in a long time that I've been here in person. I think it's my first time ever, for an opening game.
Okay.
So I'm super excited, super pumped. I really feel like we have a better team than last year. I still maybe feel like we're 1 year away.
Yeah.
I feel like we definitely could push for play-in this year. But as far as contention, I feel like we're definitely 1 year away. But we're right there. We're right on the doorstep.
Yeah, record-wise, what would you go on the record to say we're going to end the season with?
I definitely feel like we're going to get 30 wins. At least 30.
Okay.
I feel that. I feel like we can definitely, improve on last year. But my mark is at least 30 wins.
And that would be a good improvement for you?
Oh, 100%.
I love it,
I think it would be.
I think it would too. Speaking of our veterans, Chris Paul, Harrison Barnes, what do you expect from those guys this season?
I think it's just a lot of, that leadership. We didn't have a lot of vet presence. We felt that on the court, but I feel like that's also felt off the court in the locker room as well. I definitely feel like Chris Paul coming in for 1 year. I know it's a rental. Maybe, hopefully, we can extend him for longer. But Definitely feel like he can teach, Trey Jones and definitely mentor Steph.
Yeah.
Definitely look forward to that. And I think Harrison Barnes coming in is just consistency. I think his first game with us, I think he had like 15 or something like that.
Yes.
Definitely, consistent with Dev out right now. I definitely feel like we can rely on him to get some scoring when Vic isn't, doing too hot or the shots aren't falling for him.
Yeah, I think Harrison Barnes is going to be a vital piece for us. He started the game off the other night, 5 for 5. I do expect him to be one of our shooters, and I do expect him and Chris Paul to bring that winning culture. What did you say back to San Antonio?
Yeah, no, 100%. I know Chris Paul's always been on the other end of like my Spurs love with, when I first saw him with New Orleans. Definitely was not a player that I liked, so to say. But now with him on our team, definitely with Harrison Barnes, with the Warriors, definitely has a lot of winning mentality and winning culture as well. But again, definitely excited. Excited is an understatement.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite player not named Wemby?
Right now, I'd probably say Dev or Jeremy.
Okay. And with the injury to Devin Vassell, before the injury, did you expect him to have a most improved player type of season?
I definitely think he could have fallen under that. Last year, he definitely took a big leap, being our second option. And I really wanted to see how he was going to look with a second-year Wemby and with a Chris Paul. I definitely felt like he could have had, a most improved. That's not to say that he can. He can, definitely a little setback at the beginning of the season, but I definitely feel like he can reach that.
Yeah. What are your expectations for Jeremy Sohan this season?
Last year, I know he started that point guard project at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, that was used for maybe to get his ball handling or maybe his confidence up a little bit. But now with Chris Paul, with Trey Jones being in that one role, I think he can really focus on being that, defensive, guard the best type of player on the other team. So looking forward to that. Maybe the shooting as well. I know he's been working a lot on the shooting. I'm kind of sad to see the one-handed free throw go away. But, no, I definitely expect big things from him.
Yeah. Well, you'll actually be happy to hear it. So he was shooting two hands again, right? Like in preseason, but against the Mavs, he went back to one-handed free throws.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know if it was like a hitch. He wasn't feeling it, so he had to start back. But we'll see what he does tonight. I'm really excited. What about Julian Champagnie? What do you think? Do you think he could have a good role in this team this year?
Yeah, no. From what I saw in the first game, I definitely saw that he shot the ball with confidence. Definitely something that we need, not with a lot of shooters on our squad. Definitely if we can rely on him to be a knockdown, or we can go and, get him to knock down a shot when we need it. Definitely, expect big things from him.
Any expectations for tonight's game against the Rockets?
I hope we get a dub. I hope we come out with a dub. I just hope for a good game. No one to get hurt.
Competitive ball.
Yeah, competitive ball. I know I talk a lot of mess about the Rockets, but they got a good squad this year. I know Şengün, Reed Shepherd. I wish we could have gotten him, but Steph, I feel like he really is, really could be the best player, rookie of the year wise.
Yeah, tell the fans your thoughts on Stephon Castle and what do you like from his game?
I didn't really watch a lot of him in college, but coming in here, I definitely feel like he can learn a lot from Chris Paul and from all the vets that we have on this team. I know he's got a big frame. He's a big guard. Definitely could use that. But yeah, man, just really looking forward to how he can, develop under this system, and maybe one day, get the keys alongside Wemby.
Yeah. Do you think Castle will eventually start at some point in this season for a little bit?
I definitely feel like he could. I do kind of like him off the bench right now in that role, just kind of soaking up the start of the season. But I don't know if it's injury wise or maybe he, out hustles at practice. But I definitely could see him in a starting role at some point this year.
Oh man, good takes, really good takes. Who do you dislike the most or more, Dallas Mavericks or Houston Rockets?
Can I say both?
Okay, equally both. That's perfectly fine.
No, I would say equally both. I don't know, something about the Rockets, man. I don't know what it is. I can tolerate Luka. I don't really dislike Luka that much, but I don't know. I guess it's just the Rockets.
Could it be the fans talk too much trash?
I think that's what it is, man.
Not winning anything like we have.
2 decades ago, that's it. That's all I got to show for it.
Hey, Mike, thanks so much for joining us today. Can I get a Go Spurs Go?
Yeah, absolutely. Go Spurs Go, baby. Let's go.
All right, Spurs fans, I'm with Vince. Vince, we just had a huge victory over our rivals, the Rockets. How do you feel?
I'm excited, man. I like what I'm seeing. I'm excited for this year. I like Wemby's effort today. I like the whole team's effort. Young squad mixed with a little bit of Chris Paul. I think it's going to be a solid year.
Yeah, I know. So you would say that the team's already improved. They look better. They look different this year.
They definitely look better. I think Chris Paul coming into the situation brings a lot of experience and a lot of leadership mixed with the talent that he's got around him. I think they're already looking much better than what I was expecting them to look.
Awesome, man. Would you have any takes from tonight's game? What are your takeaways? What did you like from the team?
Well, nobody can guard Keldon Johnson when he decides to go to the rim. That's first and foremost. Wemby's a beast. Wemby's bigger than everybody else, and he's athletic, and he can shoot the ball, and he can get to the rim. But most of all, I like the competitiveness. I like the way these guys came out and fought and played hard and did everything they could to get a win.
Yeah, I know these guys definitely played hard. I was getting a little bit worried in the third quarter when we kind of slowed down. The energy just stayed a little bit stagnant, and then Dylan Brooks and Wembanyama get into a little bit of that scuffle. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I'm not a fan of Dylan Brooks at all. I'm sure most of the stadium was hearing me yell at him and let him know that I wasn't a big fan of him. But ultimately, it's about the leadership that the older guys bring, Chris Paul, and of course having Popovich, having them slow him down and make sure that they're executing on both sides of the floor. They did a great job fighting through it, and I know it was close at the end, but all you got to do is do what you need to do to win a game, and that's what they did.
Yeah, that's the most important thing, is getting that win. I think with a young team like ours, it's going to be hard for us to maintain a big lead like that for 3 quarters. So we saw some good stuff. It was good to see our rookie have some clutch moments with the free throws. What do you think about his game today?
Oh, he's solid. He's big. He's a lot bigger than I expected him to be. I guess I don't know what I was expecting, but seeing him in person, he's big. He can compete against anybody on the floor, 1 through 5. I think the defensive end is where we're going to need him when it matters most. But to your point about how these guys kind of struggled a little bit in the third, I thought defensively they played pretty well at the end of the game especially. But ultimately it boils down to them, their effort and what they bring to the table every single night. And tonight I saw them fight and get a dub.
Yeah. You know what I also saw tonight? I saw Coach Popovich getting on the guys. He was coaching hard today, coaching competitively. What are your thoughts on his performance today as a
It's
coach?
what's necessary, especially with a young team. I mentioned earlier that Chris Paul brings a lot of leadership, but ultimately we've got the best leader in the game, and that's Greg Popovich. Every single night he's going to have these guys ready to play, and if these guys aren't ready to play, he's going to make sure that he lets them know about it. But I can't fault anything that guy does. I've been a Spurs fan since the moment I came out, and I've enjoyed the way he's coached his team. He coaches hard. I'm a military guy myself, so the way he approaches the game, the way he approaches every situation is a lot like the way I would. So I appreciate, I respect, and I very much understand how hard he coaches his guys, and that's why I think we're going to be competitive this year.
Man, some great words. Record-wise, what do you see our record being this season?
I'm not going to put a number to it, but I will say that I think we're going to be competing for at least a play-in spot. I think we're good enough to be in the playoffs as a 7th or 8th seed. But beyond that, I mean, it's gonna exceed my expectations if they do go a little bit above and beyond that. But I think playing is going to be realistic this year, and I think they're going to put in the effort. I think they will.
Yeah, awesome. And who do you dislike the most, Dallas Mavericks or the Houston Rockets?
I dislike them both equally. I'm not a huge fan of either of the two. I've been a Spurs fan since the moment I came out, and I've enjoyed every single game I've ever watched of them, and especially when they beat both Dallas and Houston. But I'm not a big fan of either of the two. I'm a big fan of players that have played for the teams, Dirk, Hakeem, and some others. But ultimately, I'm a Spurs fan, and I'm going to ride with the Spurs.
You're a Spurs fans, baby. Can I get a go, Spurs, go?
Go, Spurs, go, baby.
All right, Spurs fans, I'm here with Lexi again, another fan that's excited about tonight's win. Tell us how excited you were about tonight's game.
I'm super excited. So this is actually my 2nd year being a season ticket holder. So really excited. I grew up with the Spurs, was blessed to grow up with the Big Three. And so I think now, being an adult, getting to see the rebuild of the Spurs and seeing the chemistry of all of our younger teammates coming together and seeing the additions of Chris Paul and Harrison Barnes is really awesome to see. I mean, you just see it out there on the court. The crowd feeds off of the energy and the team feeds off of that as well. So it was awesome. A great home opener, and it makes me 10 times more excited for the season.
That's amazing, yeah. Really exciting stuff tonight. The energy from the crowd was outstanding. Glad that you had a good time. Nice to see that you're here, that you're a season ticket member holder. So am I. This is my 2nd season as well. Yeah, so good stuff. Who would you say your favorite player is on the team besides Wemby?
honestly, from what I'm seeing so far, I feel like Julian Champagne's really getting up there. I feel like, obviously all of the guys, they have such great talents and they've got their own thing to where you always want to watch them at certain points of the game. But after that first game, even though we lost against Dallas, seeing Julian Champagne really step up like that, you can tell he's going to be a great key player for us, especially in those moments where it's coming down to the wire. I feel like he's going to be that guy that we can really depend on.
Yeah, I agree. That was a great take about Champagne. I think that he will excel this season. We're going to see a more confident Champagne. So really, really excited for stuff from him. I know we only won 22 games last year. How many wins do you expect this year?
You know what? I'm hoping to see at least 40. I'm not gonna lie. I'd like to see 40. A lot of people are talking about like playoffs, play-in, all of that. I think right now it's nice to not have to really stress like crazy over the team about being a championship team like how we once did, and we're always pulling our hair out. So I think for me it's really not about the wins, but it's really how we win. And even with the losses, it's super impressive to see the way the team reacts to their losses and how they bounce back. There's no negativity that you see in the locker room. There's always something positive coming out of those press conferences. So for me it's not so much about how much we get when it comes to winning, but maybe how much growth we see the team have both like on and off the court.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree. I say that we've already seen a little bit of a better team this year than last year, right?
Definitely.
So exciting stuff. As a Spurs fan, how long would you say till we are maybe a championship team again?
Honestly, I'd say about 2-3 years. I'd say 2 to 3 years. We're really going to start to pop up in that conversation. I feel like with Wemby, for being so young, he's got such a high basketball IQ, but also he's just really mature for his age. He knows how to conduct himself. He carries himself really well, and I feel like just knowing that he's coming into this team with so much pressure on himself and, such high expectations, that he doesn't really let that get to him, and he builds off that motivation, and he understands that it's a work in progress. No one's coming in here thinking it's going to change overnight, but everyone's coming in knowing that there's got to be work that's put into it in order to get to that goal. And I feel like these guys are so hungry for that they're going to try to get there as soon as they possibly can and do it the right way, the Spurs way.
The Spurs way, right? Exactly. That amazing takes, great words. I don't really have much else. I do got a good, important question for Spurs fans. Who do you dislike more, Dallas Mavericks or the Houston Rockets?
Houston Rockets. I'm not going to lie, I don't know, I just feel like I have a lot of respect growing up with Tim Duncan, seeing the Tim and Dirk rivalry. There's a lot of respect, mutual respect there. I feel like with Houston, it's just a little more down and dirty. And also, if you haven't seen, but the way they reacted to us being the #1 pick in the lottery last year, I watch that anytime I need to pick me up. I'm sorry, but I feel like that rivalry with the Rockets is a little more heated.
I love that. You heard it here, Spurs fans. That was from Lexi. Can I get a Go Spurs Go?
Go Spurs Go!